So as you can see here, I've taken a track and it's gone off the idler wheel here. Luckily it hasn't come off the front sprocket there, but I do need to get it back onto this idler wheel. So what we're going to do here is pull off this cap. This exposes where we put our grease in. That tensions the cylinder that pushes up against this idler wheel here. We're going to see if we can get that grease to come out and push this idler wheel back in. That way it contracts the distance between the sprocket and the idler wheel. Hopefully we can get this track back on here without too much problems. So I'm going to get an impact gun and start taking some stuff off here, see if we can get in there and get this thing back on. All right, we got our cover off. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus there. So that's the Zerk fitting right there that we use to put grease in. It goes down this tube here, and in here there's a little cylinder that pushes this idler wheel out. So there's no real instructions I found. I watched or I was reading a forum on Facebook about these machines, and they say that you can take that Zerk fitting out and that will allow the grease to come out. So basically I need to remove either the Zerk fitting or one of the bigger couplings there, put some towels in there, and then as that idler track retracts back in, it's going to squeeze all that grease out, and we'll have to dispose of that. When we go to put it back in, we'll have to put new grease in it. So, alright, I'll show what I've done so far. So you see in here, I have pulled out, or retracted this nut here, and I have taken out the grease zerk. So I'm not sure if this is going to pop completely off or what. It feels like it might. I'm going to try to pull this out, and then we're going to put a 4x4 post up against the idler wheel here and use the boom to try to push it in. So let's try to get this off the rest of the way. Alright, there is the part right there. That's the front part there on that elbow is where the Zerk fitting goes in, and this shoots grease in. So now this is disconnected. I should be able to have no problem putting the bucket up against that and squeezing out some grease. Alright, so see right there, we've loosened up that fitting. All that grease is coming out. So that fitting needs to be loosened. Zoom in there. That fitting is a check valve, one-way check valve. And so I was putting pressure on it here. I obviously saw me split the wood on the 4x4 post. When I loosened that, the grease comes out. So just know you have a one-way check valve in these machines. So if you're not getting any progress, don't keep pushing on it. Wait and go back and problem solve it. So I'll put a little bit more pressure on there, see if I can get some more grease to come out, and we'll try pulling that track back on. Okay, so we got our fitting back together. I've tightened down the check valve, the one-way check valve, and put together the 90-degree elbow with the Zerk fitting on it. So now we're going to add some grease to it, tighten up this track. We'll be back in business. A couple learning points though. This wasn't by the book. This was just a quick down and dirty, hey, I need to get this track back on. I probably should have had this thing not up in the air like I did. As you see, the track isn't being held up by the blade, but we're up on a hill, and then my back track is also up on a berm here, so the machine's just tilted up like this. The weight of this is not being held by the hydraulics. When I had this thing up, yes, I did have the hydraulics holding it up off the ground and giving me a better angle to work in. Not the right thing to do. It should be cribbed at all times. So in the perfect world, we want to crib things, because if those hydraulics give out, it's going to come crashing down on top of you. So just a little safety point there. But let's get some grease in this thing. Alright, I'm going to move it around, cycle that track a little bit, let it kind of settle in there, and then we'll add some more grease to it. You see, I still have a lot of slack in here. We're just trying to get the seat in onto the rails, onto the sprockets. Now we'll start adding more grease. I do have the front end of the machine, or the back end I should say, the opposite side of the blade. It's up with the boom, so the boom is holding the front end up here. So I'm being careful not to put any parts of my body in the pinch point there, because I don't want to get smashed. Having it up off the ground though, it allows the track to seat in properly. Makes it a lot easier to add grease to this thing and get this thing all finished up so I can get back to work. Alright, we're in business. Track's tightened back up. All I have to do is put the guard on here and it'll be good to go. A couple learning points too is I didn't have a rag underneath the hole where the grease goes in, so when I put pressure on the front here on this idler wheel and pressed all that grease out, it did go all over the tracks. So that was bad on my part. That's a learning point. Now I got a little bit of a mess. It's going to attract a lot of dirt, and you don't want that out here. It's really dusty, so anything with grease on so they get covered and just turn into this nasty, dirty mess. So that's just a learning point. First time doing a track, getting tracks back on idlers like this. So, hopefully you guys got something out of this video. Thanks for watching.